All right, Aiden's Army of Angels. So I'm coming to you guys today, as my last plea. I have been seeking justice for the crimes committed against me for 5 years. And it all stemmed from a 2-month marriage. And I know as just as much as there is so many evil people out here willing to hurt innocent people, there's also people out here that are working for God, lawyers that keep God close to their heart and want the legal system to be a system that operates honestly. For a 2-month marriage to go on for 5 years and total up a total of over $200,000 in legal fees, only charged to one person, is very clear sign of misconduct, of fraud and extortion that through our legal system. I've done everything that I can do. I got a letter from an expert. I proved the notary fraud. I proved the switching of the judges. I provided evidence of Bobby Antee admitting what he did. And during this entire time, I had attorneys that have not been held accountable for their misconduct. Attorneys who have refused to refund anything that was paid to them, and now a legal system that is ensuring that I get no justice at all and the attacks on me continue. And I'm just sick. I'm sick and I'm tired. And I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And, I've tried everything I can do to end this situation. And because I am a woman in America, I am not rich. I am not a celebrity. I don't know any thugs. I have no rights in our court system. They have stolen everything that my son raised. They have fabricated evidence. They have committed malicious prosecution. And then they illegally sold my home and stole my things. And I'm sitting in the world in 2022 thinking, how can this happen? How can 26 judges break the law in plain sight? How can every government office simply ignore your complaints? And how can a man that was married to me for 2 months control my life and all my assets for 5 years when he only makes $14 an hour and couldn't even afford an attorney? And this is what my life has been like for 5 years. I don't sleep at night. I work almost 15 hours a day. I take care of my mother by myself, and she can't even walk anymore. Why Bobby Antee has lived at home with his mother, Teresa Daniels, has been able to see his kids and conspired with his baby mama, Veronica Yepes, to try to extort child support from me. I've never met the kids. I was only with Bobby for a month before I asked for annulment. And this has been able to go on. And for him abusing me, lying about me, and trying to destroy my son's foundation, he's now been rewarded. And the legal system has made it very clear to me that if I don't have the support of the public, I won't get justice. But I don't believe any of that. I believe God has a plan, God has a purpose, and he used me to expose everything that is going on in the state of Nevada. But what I'm not going to do is give any more of my life to this. I am not going to not be around my friends anymore and my family. I'm not missing any more events that would bring me joy and happiness. And I'm going to enjoy all the blessings that God gave me, because this has never been about the money. They've been trying to give me back that money for 5 years until I caught them all. And then they decided, look, no one's helping her. Let's just steal it all, which is fine. I don't care about the money. I hope it brings them as much joy and pain as it brought me. And what this whole thing has always been about, is holding Bobby Antee accountable for the abuse that I suffered during the 6 months I was around him after the death of my son. And for somebody to watch you lose a child and go through the pain that I went through, and then decide it's a great idea to conspire with the realtor so he doesn't go to jail for what he did to me, is sick. And the fact that his mother has let him live at her house for 5 years, paying nothing. He only makes $14 an hour. And his attorneys represented him for 5 years with no payment. It clearly shows that the abuse I suffered is horrific. Horrific. And I did everything in my power to protect myself from this. And my attorneys did absolutely nothing to protect me or to prove my case or to hold anybody accountable. There was much more money in it for them to simply conspire against me, put me through 2.5 years of abuse before they allowed me to go to a trial that was held with no jury, no witnesses, and Raina Hughes legally typed her own court notes. Linda Na was the only witness, and they perjured themselves on the stand several times. Not one question was ever asked about why I was not on the title and the forgery of Nikki Secaucus spot. So I'm not sure why God has chosen for me to go through this process. I am not sure why there's so many people in this world that know the amazing work that I do and will allow this to happen, who have watched the bullying, the slander, the abuse, the fraud, and these people constantly contacting people that support the foundation and encouraging them not to. So if you have watched my page and you have gone over the things that I've shared, you clearly know exactly what's happening here. And if you are a person who decides that, oh, because she's exposing this on her personal page, we will now not support the children. Well, that's insult upon injury. And if you would not like to support the children because of the abuse that I'm reporting, because of the fraud that's happened against me and my foundation, it clearly does show what you do support. For all the companies who continue to support Aiden's Army of Angels, who can see the fraud and the abuse that I've suffered, and through all of this, one person, I moved an entire foundation across the United States with a sick mother. As one person, after they stole all my son's money, I then sold my own car, got $11,000, and built Aiden's foundation off of that $11,000, in which now I raise over $300,000 a year and give back the vast majority of that directly to the families through programs and services. And I've done this without any of the money that was raised by my little boy. So for people to come and say, oh, look at this scammer, she's using her son to come up. Please understand, the last 5 years of my life have been pure hell. I have had not one person help me through the grief and the loss of my son. I have not had one lawyer protect me from any of this abuse. I have had people come work for me that were helping these people and trying to find things that weren't there. I have had cancer moms attack me. Moms who have also lost their children. And the same moms that I've helped then later attack me to protect this corruption in Nevada. I don't spend time with my friends. I don't go to nightclubs. I work all the time because that is the only thing that brings me joy, which is why this is the only thing these people have chosen to attack for years. And still, the foundation is strong. Still, the foundation is helping families and keeping families in their homes. And I haven't used my social media in over a year to raise any funds to help the families. So all of the funds that we've used to help the families over the last year came from my work, my grant writing, my dedication to making a difference, to giving moms time with their kids that I didn't have with my son. And it's hurtful and disgusting that in 2022, something like this can happen and everybody will simply watch. But as much as I am hurt by the people involved in this, the 26 judges, that not one of them at any point said, this has gone too far, this is enough. This woman has suffered enough. Not one person. But I do know God has always protected me. God has always provided for me. And even through all of this abuse, He's allowed me to keep my dream alive of keeping Aiden's legacy alive. And I love my work. I don't want to go through this anymore. And there is not anything else I can prove legally or through any other form of what has happened to me. And I will never understand why so many people in positions of power and leadership will do nothing. So what I do know is God is so good to me. When I lost my son, I asked God for two things: to be a mom again and to have peace. And God gave me both of those things. I am a mom again, and it's not a child that I'm bearing myself, but it's a child who needed me, a child who loves me, a child who deserves opportunity to come to America and have a better life. I asked God to give me peace. And 3 years after the loss of my son, I was pretty much forced to go on a trip that I didn't want to go on, but everyone kept encouraging me to go. And I went. And I went on this trip, and I felt like I was ready to die. That I was tired of the abuse. I was tired of the lies. I don't have any brothers or fathers or family members that protect or support me. And I was tired. And I remember walking down the street in Montego Bay, ready to go. And that trip turned into something that saved my life. And Dante saved my life. And now I have 5 moms ready to go to Jamaica and experience that same healing by simply taking myself out of an environment that was so toxic and putting myself in a place full of nature and love and God. And it saved my life. And now I have 5 moms ready to do the same thing. And for the last 2 years, all I have been able to do is fight for a case that I won years ago against people who don't have to follow the rules. And I'm tired. I do not want my family suffering anymore. I do not want to focus on this case anymore. I want to have a lawyer that is honest, that is willing to give me and my family peace and protect me and my mother from the constant, endless abuse of Shumway Van Law Firm. So I am going to share with you guys a few more videos. And this time it's going to have absolutely nothing to do with the legal system or laws. I'm going to let Bobby Antee and Linda tell you exactly what they did to me. And that Bobby Antee's mother, Teresa Daniels, was part of this. Bobby Antee's baby mama, Veronica Yepes, was part of this. And Linda, there was no defamation. She clearly broke the law and closed on a loan, picking the lender and the title company to collect her commission, and did not care for 1 second the pain it would cause me. And through these text messages, you will see very clearly that everything I've been saying for 5 years is very true. And 26 judges are lying. And every government office in Nevada is lying and committing misconduct. And Governor Sisolak, Aaron Ford, they protect criminals. And none of this is the lie. I am one person who has done nothing but give back in the worst time of my life. And I'm being attacked by hundreds of people in the state of Nevada protecting the fraud. And every clerk, every paralegal, every police officer, every judge, every lawyer, and every government worker needs to lose their job and be held accountable for what they're doing. And until our judicial system has accountability, it's going to continue to fail us. It's going to continue to attack our families, our businesses, and our freedoms. But what I'm not doing anymore is allowing this to take over any more part of my life or to affect my son Dante or anything else that I care about, like my mother. I thank God every day that my mother is walking. I thank God every day that soon she will make a full recovery. And I thank God every day that he didn't take her, because even through all of this, I needed my mom still. And I couldn't lose my mom and my son. and fight the entire world. I couldn't do that, and God knew it. And he's good to me, which is why he let her get better. Which is why I'm still here helping families. Which is why I know that I can give this to God, and these will be the last videos that I make about this. And it's never been about the money. It's been about the fact that I lost my son, in which I suffered severely from the trauma. So badly that I couldn't hear when people talked to me. That I couldn't think. That I begged Bobby Antee to stop bothering me about this house and to let me focus on what I wanted to do, which was build Aiden's legacy. And to build a foundation honestly and to follow the rules, which is what I begged him for. But you guys will see now that was exactly the case. And Bobby's plan from the whole beginning was to attack me, was to steal my son's money. And then he had no problem destroying resources for his own community and destroying the last piece of my son that I had, or thinking that he did. But Aiden's Army of Angels, it's a strong foundation. It's an honest foundation. And me and my son have no problem standing up to people who mock God, who mock the legal system. And I have no problem being transparent about all of it. And that's exactly what I've done over the last 5 years. And I have full faith that at some point, there will be a lawyer or somebody with enough power to stand up to whoever this Illuminati or mafia or whatever they call themselves is. Because God has people working too. And just like he put me in the position to bring resources to childhood cancer families, he's put other people in the positions to protect us. So I'm giving this to God. And I am going to go back to enjoying my life, enjoying my son, enjoying helping families. And I'm going to go back to simply being happy. And I've found my peace. I've found my happiness. And I'm not apologizing for any of it, because I deserve every second of it. And I have worked so hard to build what I have built. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I have been able to do this through the worst pain of losing my son. I am proud that I was able to move my whole entire foundation, even though it took me a year. I am proud that Aiden's foundation is helping hundreds of families and moms just like me. I am proud that we developed Aiden Bucks, and I'm proud of our snack bags. I'm proud of my Christmas party and my galas. And I never thought I could do any of this, but I've done it. And I did it without this money Aiden raised. And I did it while being attacked and lied to and abused by hundreds of people. And I'm okay with that. What I wanted from this situation was simply an apology and accountability. Because somebody doesn't lose their child and then be completely disregarded by everybody to protect brokers who don't want to pay the damages. The damages I have suffered for 5 years are horrific. I have thought of taking my own life. I have alienated myself from everybody because I have no idea who to trust. I have losses over $1 million. And not one of those things not one thing I've been made whole for. But I'm done. I'm done fighting. I'm happy. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy Dante. So when you guys watch this next videos, you're going to see that Bobby Antee's plan the entire time was to defraud me. And he did it with the help of realtor Linda. And it's caused me pain and suffering for years. And they've now stolen everything. So, I feel like my goal has been reached. I've made it very clear what they've done, and people know exactly what's going on. And after these last 2 videos, you will hear from their own mouth what they did to me. and that every account of abuse, every count of my losses is absolutely true. So I'm asking you guys to please subscribe to my channel and to sign the petition, because the only way I'm going to get justice is to have the support of the community. And that would make that 10,000 signatures will make the FBI act. So I'm asking you guys to please sign the petition. Allow me to have justice. And I am going to give it to God. I have applied to law school. So in 3 weeks, I will know if I got into law school. And then I have 6 years, which is the statute of limitations, to seek justice. So that is my plan. I am going to run Aiden's Army of Angels, and I'm going to go back to my raffles and my events and having fun with the families. And I'm going to let God have this. And I pray that I wake up in the morning and there's 10,000 signatures on that petition. And that every person who has put me through this is held accountable. And that Bobby Antee no longer sits at home with his mother being protected, that he sits in a jail cell where he belongs, so he could think about the pain and suffering that he has caused my life because of his greed. So please find my petition at www.change.org/arrest Raina Hughes. And I will begin to show you all exactly what Bobby Antee and Linda did directly from their own mouth.